Welcome to the Awesome Pod Mix Romantic Dive. You're listening to Abby. Today I have someone with me who loves this film and we'll be taking a romantic dive into this film. It's Love Aajkal from 2009. The film is written and directed by Imtiaz Ali. Welcome, Malvika.
Thank you so much, Abby, for having me here. I cannot wait to talk about this film. I love this film. I'm really looking forward to having this conversation with you.
You know what is the one thing that made me realize that you are the right person to talk about this film? You remember you had put up a reel where you had spoken about this line that Deepika says in the film.
Yes.
Do you want to say that line for us?
I might not say it as well as she does, but for context, जब जान जाएगा, अगर जान पाया, तो आ जाएगा.
Like that is all I needed to know that you love this film. And then I was like, okay, it's re-releasing. Watch this film again, get a new perspective. And it's been months, but finally here we are.
Definitely. I mean, I watched it for the first time in the theaters recently. And I think watching it as a grown-up had a completely different effect on me as it did when, I was 8-year-old. Maybe we'll have a lot more to chat about today than maybe we had before.
Acha, tell me if I say team love Aaj or your team love Kal.
I think I'm Love Aaj.
And I'm team love Kal. So this is going to be really fun. So the film begins with this instrumental version of Ye Duriyan. And it stops abruptly and it changes to the sound of the car that's coming in and getting parked. The text appears that says September. Now, September is very important. The first time Deepika and Saif's character Jay and Meera meet, they meet in a lift. They meet but they don't talk to each other and they separate. So I think that these people are going to get separated. Did you feel that when you first saw the scene?
Actually, no, because I mostly saw it from a Aaj perspective and that is precisely every meeting with a boy would turn out to be.
Then they meet in October where they meet at a club and then that is when he just approaches her. Do you like if somebody approaches you like that randomly?
Respectfully, yes, because where else would you find people otherwise? Otherwise, no, I would not prefer a club setting. If somebody just comes to me and be like, hey, you want to chat? Hey, I want to talk to you. Or maybe like go out for a coffee or something. Yeah, I'd love to go out with them after a random meeting or two. But not immediately jump onto like drinking with them and dancing with them because you know boys. Me and you both know boys.
But also that whole line of like, मैं pylon नहीं करना चाहता, it was a little too cheesy for me.
I think yes, but see, sometimes you say things only because you know you're crossing that boundary, but you don't want to. So you just make it clear from your end itself before it comes from the other side. So before she could have said कि oh तुम pylon कर रहे हो, he's like मैं pylon नहीं करना चाहता. And I think we know Saif was a little self-indulgent, like as a character.
Actually, I feel that his characteristic comes out in another scene. Because for me, that is his intro. Because that is where I completely understand what he's all about. Right now, I feel like, okay, these are the two people. They're just meeting. Let's see what happens. I'm not very invested in their meeting or they should be together kind of a thing. For me, it's just like casual. Like even their first kiss, it's too casual. I wanted it to be a little more romantic, but it's just like fun mein nikal diya hai. Maybe that was the intent. I'm not sure. For me, it doesn't work.
I think again, we are trying here to capture contemporary nature of it. Also, because it's drawing a parallel between the Aaj and the Kal, it needs to be really important to show how Kal was so romantic and every moment was how perfectly curated and captured. And this way, it's like casual till bummer, ki, oh, it's not. In my opinion, it was a deliberate attempt, but we'll just wait for Imtiaz sir to
weigh in on this. I wouldn't mind if he wants to come on the podcast.
Just bring him on a podcast. I'll be a fly on the wall.
The thing is that when I met him, it just didn't cross my mind. Gen Z understand his films more than what he has thought about in his head.
Imtiaz Ali is one of the only directors perhaps who has gotten it right somehow. It sort of surprises me how a man of the generation still understands this one so well.
Are you a person who likes tea or coffee?
Coffee.
But do you prefer like the black coffee without sugar, how Jay prefers it?
I did not like it back then, but now I do.
So the next day is when she accepts this friend request. So it's not Facebook, it's facespaces.com. And that's when we get to know their full names. Jayavardhan Singh, Meera Pandit. Though Meera's friends do mention her name before she enters that lift in the first scene. So I know that her name is Meera. I don't know his name is Jay. His ambition is to be at the Golden Gate Inc. to make bridges and she's into restoration. Though I would have preferred like a better scene where they discover each other's interest and not through a Facebook page kind of a thing. Because he sent her the request. It's not even like she's talking because she's just met him like a day ago and the next day she's just receiving this request and she's just trying to figure out who this person is.
See, I'll tell you, when we are watching something in a story that, really impresses us, we want all those moments to be like perfectly curated, those moments to have a backstory. All of this was so realistic. More often than not, it is through their social media accounts that I get to know, okay, who are their friends, who are they hanging out with, what their profession is. The Aaj part of film was way ahead of its time, in my opinion, because even today, it's the same thing. We still have the same platforms. Facebook has turned to Instagram, but the way of meeting people, the way of understanding people, getting the know-how is through social media. We like it or not. I think it was rather smart of him to make it more realistic so that when we delve into the Kal part of it, makes more sense.
Next, we see that in January, they're attending a wedding and Jay is completely against this whole idea of marriage. He's constantly like asking, are you madly in love with me? You want to have my kids? And she's like, no way. And then he's like, अच्छा दिली दिल में मुझे अपना दोस्त मानने लगे हो. She's like, no chance. That I didn't get.
I think back then the word situationship was missing from people's vocabulary. That's the case because see, Jay was always clear that he didn't want a marriage. Okay.
Correct.
And I feel somewhere when you're with somebody for that long a time that he was with Meera, he understood that she does want a marriage. So hence, there's always a second layer to relationships which most often is friendship that you fall back on. So if you cannot marry somebody, if you cannot have a future with them, but you do like the presence, we often name it as friendship just to keep them around. Jay had great liking for Meera as a person. A lot of time he repeats this line, तू हमेशा सही बात कर देती है जाने मन, which clearly says that he has a lot of liking for her as a personality. Maybe not as a wife, maybe not as a girlfriend, maybe not somebody that he sees his future with at this point in time. But when you like somebody, you cannot always cut them off also.
Correct.
So knowing that tomorrow, if not today, the paths are gonna be separate.
Yeah.
I think it's just coming from an innocent place of not knowing that I want to keep this person. Let's just lie down on a comfortable cushion of friendship.
That's a nice way of looking at it. So there's this cute moment. I think it's a little before September again. Jay and Meera meet with Meera's nani and she's like, she does this fresco. Do you know about fresco? And he's like, no, I only know disco. So nani is like, देखो इसको भी नहीं पता है. क्या लॉजिक है just because इसको नहीं पता तो किसी को भी नहीं पता. But there's a very cute moment after that. They are looking at a painting and she's like, isn't it nice? It's work in progress. And he's not interested in the fresco. He's just making his move, maroing chance, and then they kiss. That kiss, that whole moment is so cute. Like, I love it. That shows me the kind of couple they are.
Exactly. See, it's not some eternal love at this point in time because, when people love each other, they know about each other's profession, they are into each other. At this point in time, these are just two individuals looking at each other and not as people with backgrounds or history or families or work. They've just started dating and that energy just shows. Not that they have started just dating. The energy is still so intact. And in my opinion, I think it comes from the fact that they never thought it will go out for too long. Is how you start a thing for like a 2-month perspective and it stretches and stretches and stretches and the energy still remains of a 2-month timeline. Yeah, I agree. This moment is very cute.
Yeah, I prefer this moment than to the first time that they kiss because this is so much more cute and fun and shows that, these people could be in love because see such cute chemistry they share.
Precisely. I think this movie is one of the few films that dive into the chemistry compatibility part of things and also the love part and how both can exist together also and apart as well. So at this point in time, there is a lot of compatibility, but we clearly see it's not love from either side. That's very much visible. Okay, you can be good for me, I can have fun with you, but I still cannot love you. And that's just so refreshing to see in Indian cinema because the minute two people are shown having good chemistry, immediately a love song appears. So it's one of the few films that keeps it very separate that, okay, we can hang out together, you can meet my family, and yet I cannot be like inexplicitly in love with you.
Because you said that, in the very next scene, some of his friends ask him, is she your girlfriend? So he's like, are you my girlfriend? I get it, but don't say it in front of like 10 people.
The important part is that even she is about it. Like, okay, yeah, maybe. And she's not offended for some reason.
Yeah, I was worried. I was trying to gauge, is she not okay with this or is she equally dumbfounded with the question? Because aise kaun puchta hai ki are you my girlfriend? It's not a question you would ask in front of 10 people. So it's a little awkward.
I think it's because the lines were blurry between them.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
It was maybe a case of, okay, you are sort of my girlfriend, but should I just call you that in front of my friends? It is just so real because people in the generation do not like to tag things. And when the questions pop up from the external world is when the internal questioning and the conversations happen.
You know, the friends' names are Rob and Marley. So in my head, it was like Bob Marley. Acha, tell me, what is Veer Singh Panesar's cafe in London called? It's a very interesting name. Can we ask this question so that they can put it down in the comments?
Yes.
Even after this scene, they go their separate ways. So the motif of them being together and just separating is constantly there every 10-15 minutes throughout the film. Because they're never going together. She's like, I'll take the tube, and it's always two different modes of transportation, two different directions that they're going in. It's never the same. Then comes December, and then they're shopping, and then they have this New Year party. New Year's ke baad, they just show, now it's next September. So I am like, if they met in September and then after that there was January wedding and then September again and then again New Year happened, and if you say next September, then I'm not gonna think the September in the same year. I'm gonna think the September in the next year.
So they dated for 2 years.
Yeah, that's what they say. If you check the timeline and if you say January may next September, then I'm like, okay, it's not this year September. So that way it makes it 3 years.
Or maybe I think, you know, how we mentioned that from the time they started dating would have been maybe 2 years, but they must have been seeing each other for 3 years.
That also could be a possibility, yes.
And officially they must have been like hanging out with each other for 3 years. You know, when they have that conversation over the phone and she says, meet you in some time at the cafe.
Ye Duriyan plays. It's like the mukhra happens, it finishes, and then it cuts to like a mini trailer of the entire film. Just like Mission Impossible. Like, why would you do this? Do not tell me what's going to happen. But the whole song is just montage of shots, people traveling, because it's about distances. It's about trying to reach somewhere, trying to reach to a loved one. But then the separation is just killing them. That's why the song Ye Duriyan. So when Meera enters the tube, outside the tube, there's a poster of The Edge of Love, which released in June of 2008. Of course, Jay drives this red Mustang. I think it's 1967 red Mustang. He's into old cars and vintage stuff. So when they meet, we have no idea that they're going to break up. And we're like, why are they stressing? Like, why is he stressed? There's something at the job. What is it? And she is always with this calm exterior. She doesn't reveal much. She'll just sit there. She'll take it all in. She'll not reveal one expression, maybe anything. Ki bhai, what is going inside her head? Of course, he hates that. Tells her later also that you always keep it inside. It's not good. This is the scene where I feel like he has this anxious, avoidant attachment style. This is where I feel that, oh, this is who his character is. Because he's talking to her and then maybe he has a little ADHD because he's talking about something else and then he's like, हम खड़े क्यों हैं? हमें बैठ जाना चाहिए. कुछ order करें.
London का traffic.
हाँ. Then he's like, देसी love stories में लड़कियों का नाम पहले लेते हैं. मेरे को जन्म जन्म का like all this I don't want. We are like normal people, mango people. I do not like that word. I don't know why.
Aam Janta.
Aam Janta. He's just going on and on and on. That is not even bothering him. What's bothering him is
how to break up.
And she's gonna go away and there is no other choice but to break up.
I have a very different theory for this scene. Jay and Meera sitting across each other and they're talking about it and Jay pops up the question कि क्या करना है? तुम जा रही हो 1 हफ्ते में 10 दिन. 10 दिन.
Exactly. I love that.
And she says 10 din, and also the expression that she has of kya karna hai, it's very optimistic for some reason, which is not like Meera. That's just my theory that maybe Meera was expecting a proposal at this point in time.
You think she was expecting a proposal?
Yes. But she got a breakup. So because we are moving apart, the only thing that can have me stay back or you come with me is gonna be us being in a formal relationship. Vis-a-vis marriage. So I very strongly believe that Meera was expecting a marriage out of it, but she got a breakup. And you know that when the expression changes very quickly, she's like, मुझे भी ऐसा ही लगता है. She takes a big pause, which clearly shows that उसे ऐसा नहीं लगता था before this conversation.
Because I was like, she is trying to smile, but you know, it's not exactly.
Precisely. She's not relieved also as Jay is. Jay thinks he's found a solution to it. I think Meera also had a solution to it, but just that the solutions were stark opposites of each other is when she realized that marriage is not something that she can impose on him.
You know what I wrote in my notes? That she's not honest about her feelings. And I just couldn't pinpoint that what exactly is it.
Although he says that later in the film that bol bhi to sakti thi, but that is just not Meera. That's not Meera who would impose. Otherwise, I feel like this scene and that scene make so much sense because Mira is the kind of person who always wanted to get married, have a family, settle down. She's been dating this guy for 2 years, clearly likes the guy, understands him. I think the breakup part of it was not a mutual decision. It was somewhere layered in Mira's character that she was not able to speak it out loud.
The breakup party toward the end, he starts, oh, we'll stay in touch, oh, this will happen, that will happen. But Mira is very overwhelmed and she just hugs him. She doesn't say anything. This is her true character.
But she's thinking like 10 things in her mind. You can see it on her face that this woman is not empty. Jay, he does not have a lot of feelings.
And he doesn't have depth also.
Precisely, depth is the word. He doesn't have depth enough. He's just blabbering things out loud that, okay, oh, I like this person. Oh, but what do I do? Like I told you, like subconsciously, maybe things are running, but he is unaware of any emotion known to humankind. And he's just moving with the flow. Mira, on the other hand, has so much depth, which is why so little of it comes on her mouth. Maybe it's that contrast which is playing, that Jay is speaking too much, but from the inside he even does not know what he's talking about. He has no idea what the repercussions of this friendship are going to be, what the future of this relationship is going to be. Let's just see how the other person responds. Mira knows that, her words make sense. Her words have an impact on him or herself. I think which is the reason we see Mira talking very less in stressful situations. Because she knows that if something comes out, it's going to be a problem for the both of them.
But because she's overwhelmed at this point in time, it shows that everything else was such a facade.
I think diving into the relationship aspect of it also, I would say the attachment that two people have when they have been together for that amount of time. So maybe it's not love, maybe it's not affection, but it can be just attachment and compatibility. And as I told you, just the feeling of having fun with the other person, not knowing when, how, what is this, but I'm just having fun in the moment. I'm pretty sure, the point that Mira took him home. Mira was trying to show him the work. There's a point in the film before this scene happens when Jay and Mira are walking the bridge. And Mira is inquisitive. She asks, oh, you bring all your girlfriends here? So you see, Mira has a layer to her. Mira has a lot of depth. She's trying to understand this character, this person. I don't see a lot of Jay trying to know Mira as well.
He's not inquisitive about her.
Exactly, which is just the opposite of what we call people in love. Like when you like somebody, when you love somebody, you want to question them because you want to know more of them. The parts of them that you are not aware of that happened before you entered this person's life, and you are inquisitive about those parts. Mira is, to an extent. Jay is not.
But I also feel like there are a lot of times that I want to ask questions, but I stop myself. So I see that in Jay also a little bit. He wants to ask, but he'll not ask. He's like, oh, I should shut up. Then she's like, yes. If somebody tells me shut up, like I'll take it okay, but inside I'll be like dying. It's not like always, but sometimes like it'll hit you in a way where you're like, I was trying to get somewhere.
I think maybe later in the film, once she moves to Delhi, maybe then, but till the point that we are talking about, which is, till the breakup, I don't think Jay is somebody who's so much interested in Mira, and which is very much also visible from the next scene that we come to. When he's in the cafe having coffee. It's very frivolous because he's just making out there like a random stranger is giving him solutions. Correct. And he's not coming from a solution for himself. Yeah. He's only throwing out excuses. True. Which might just seem fair to him, given that, the depth of his feelings are only limited. But we realize that there is a solution, right? It can be done. Yeah. It exists. It's just that it didn't come to him for her. So I truly believe that at this point in time, Jay is not in love. He just likes Mira a lot because Mira somewhere is the yin to his yang. Mira fills up what he does not have and maybe what he will never have in his life. So Jay, even after, by the end of the film, whatever we see, I don't think ever in life Jay would be the kind of person taking the key decisions when they're having a child, when they're buying a home. It's always going to be Mira taking the key decisions because she thinks. Jay steps in to control her overthinking. When Jay is underthinking, that's where he needs Mira to put things into perspective. And therefore, the liking of how two blocks just come together because they fit.
Two puzzle pieces.
Exactly, to complete the puzzle. And after the puzzle is done is when you realize, okay, we didn't realize, but that was the reason we were coming back to each other over and over again. Had Jay been a little bit more thoughtful, I really feel the breakup would not have happened because there was absolutely no problem apart from the fact that Jay was utterly confused about this relationship.
Correct. Which all Imtiaz Ali characters are, let's face it.
Yeah, which all men are. Let's say it. Or maybe it was just part of the plot that Jay was shown to be this underthinker because Mira had to exist to fill those voids up. They kept coming back to each other because there was nobody else in the world that would have fit Jay as much as Mira did.
That's nice. In fact, I love that Rishi Kapoor has always been in the background before he actually makes an appearance. Like in this scene where he's like, the kitchen can open again. It doesn't matter if they want something, order, whatever. And I like that he's very sweetly, cutely, he's just trying to get it out of him that, अरे लड़की तो अच्छी थी, क्यों छोड़ दी?
Because that's what known to him, right? When two people break up, that's the language that you use after a breakup with a boy to boy. Oh, तूने छोड़ दिया? That's where he's coming from, which again, even before we dive into the Kal part of it, we just see that, okay, Veer Singh comes from this era, and even if he's been settled and living in London, he is a nice traditional man who comes from his own belief, would question you in the same way.
And he's also a straight shooter, na? He doesn't beat around the bush.
That is the best part. And maybe also because of the next line that he says, because he sees so much of himself in Jay, so then he knows इस आदमी के साथ आगे पीछे की बात करने का कोई मतलब नहीं है. दिमाग अगर उतना ही है, तो then let's just come straight to the point.
At one point, he does call him Samajhdar, and it's so funny to me.
Veer Singh being direct with him was just a part of him knowing कि he will not be able to comprehend any more than this.
I love that he asks, are you going to the airport to see her for the last time? He's like, nahin, she told me not to. He's like, तुम पागल हो, वो बिल्कुल चाहती है कि तुम जाओ.
बुरी तरह.
And you see that she does. She jumps with joy the moment she sees him.
Precisely.
He says, ना आप क्यों मुझे एयरपोर्ट लेके जाओगे? He's like, because तुम मुझे बहुत अच्छे लगते हो. Then he's like, नहीं नहीं नहीं, तुम जैसे अभी हो, मैं भी बिल्कुल वैसा ही था, डिट्टो एग्जैक्ट. और मैं बता दूं, मैं अपने जमाने में खतरनाक किस्म का हैंडसम हुआ करता था. एंड सैफ इज लाइक थैंक यू because it's played by him only. So he's like, yeah, thank you. And in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, young Rishi Kapoor. Oh, yeah, he used to be very handsome. And then in the theater, I'm like, there's no doubt about it. That is true. But I have to think that, oh, they're talking about a young Saif.
See, that's what I'm saying. Saif's character is just so on the surface of things, which is fun. You know, it's a great fun to be around a Saif in your life or a Jay in your life. But he's just broken up. You've had a breakup party. And a third party is more concerned about your ex-girlfriend than probably you are. So I just want to ask you this question. It always brings me back to the question that at what point in time was Meera in love with Jay? Because the way she jumps, the way she was expecting, it's not something that a person like Meera would expect from somebody that she would not like. Meera is a very practical person, a very hyper-independent person, taking her own decisions, traveling on her own, doing everything. And if she's liking a boy who's coming to the airport with flowers and she's jumping with joy, I feel there's more to it than what's shown.
I wanted to believe that she was in love even before, but now that I think about it, I think it wasn't until Vikram proposed.
I think that is when she realizes that he is not in love and I am.
See, you answered your own question.
No, my question is, when did she actually fall in love subconsciously? And to me, that still remains
a mystery.
A mystery, and also maybe in the between the moments that we don't see before the breakup happens.
For me, it is very important to know what was the moment of love, like you're saying. For me, that is very important. And they've not shown that in Kal Wala Love also and even Aaj Wala Love also. Ki when is that moment that these two people fell in love with each other?
Because they started out very casually, both of them.
Exactly.
There was no love at first sight from either side. At least in the Aaj part of it, in the Kal part of it, we still see that there is one person chasing the other person, which is a typical run and chase formula. The guy chases the girl. But with this one, I feel like it's always that missing block that I want to know, when did Meera actually fall in love? My eternal question is that if Jay had proposed in the moment, do you think she would have said yes?
I think she would have said yes.
So that typically clears the air, right? That she was into it.
Maybe she wouldn't have said that, okay, let's get married, but just the professing of the love for one another. And just when we are ready, we'll get married, that kind of thing. And not like, oh, I love you, let's get married like right away. I don't think it's that. It's just that, yes, like how they didn't even know if they were girlfriend, boyfriend. So for them to just be so sure that, oh, we want to spend the rest of our lives together. Because initially it's want to spend the rest of our lives together and we need to spend the rest of our lives together because we cannot live without each other.
I feel like I relate to Meera's character so much. I see so much of myself in her, which is why I can tell you that, if you keep a note of it, all of Meera's actions are somewhere dependent upon Jay's provocation. Him saying something that might lead to something else. All of Meera, in fact, her marriage is based upon Jay's words towards her.
She's gauging how he's behaving.
Exactly. Throughout, her actions are so much driven by what he feels towards me, is when I will be allowed to show what I feel towards him. Which is why the showing, I knew it would come only because if Jay provokes her, she will show the emotion. But I really want to know at this point in time that, okay, when was it that at least Meera knew in herself that even if this man comes or not, I am going to be staying in this place. Which again comes very late for Meera.
Which I'm like, थोड़ा और दिमाग लगा लेती ना auntie, why destroy somebody else's life?
I think she did. दिमाग उसने लगाया. The thing was, again, because there was nothing from the other side, she was just hopeless. She was like, I cannot make the first move. I cannot be asking the person to marry me. I cannot be asking him to not spend time with me or spend time with me. You realize that it's mostly out of her control.
Okay, if it was you who had to see somebody off at the airport, would you go and like see them for one last time, or you're like, it's too painful, I can't do it?
I think I would. I really believe in जाने से पहले आखिरी बार मिलना ज़रूरी होता है. You want a moment because next time I'll remember the person, I would remember them just me and them on the airport and not like in a common atmosphere or just a random goodbye that I'm not aware. Having said that, it's too anxiety-inducing thought for me to know that this is the last time. I cannot like make sense of it that, okay, how, when. So I will always like one part of me would always be craving that, okay, it's the last time, maybe for this year, maybe for this month. I hope it's not the last time for lifetime. Yeah, I think that airport, in fact, would give me a lot of hope. You know, I would just say things to me like, okay, I can just fly away to see this person. It's just one flight away. It's just a few kilometers away. So I think I would just take it that way because the thought of living with this line, that's the last time I'm seeing them, it's just too excruciating for me to live the rest of my life.
Even when Veer Paji gives him the bouquet, Saif just mistakes it that for me, and he's like, for her. Like, he is so out of his depth, it's not even funny.
But see, also in that moment, Jay feels hesitant to giving it to her, right? Because it doesn't go with his personality.
But also, Meera takes it to be, I must be really special. So somewhere, the seed of that I may be in love with you.
Meera is also hopeful about it. It's not an ending for her because, see, for Meera, the party was the last time she was seeing Jay. That was the story till then. The thing that she get to see him again on the airport will definitely do something in her brain which would go like, oh, then I can meet him again. When we say aakhri baar, it never means aakhri baar because you say aakhri baar only to dramatize it in your head so that even if it is aakhri baar, it's not very hurting. But in your mind, in your heart, you hope that, okay, maybe it's not. It should not.
She says, na, आखिरी बार मिलना की ज़रूरी होता है. And then Rishi Kapoor has gone into his trance because he's like, oh my God, it's so true because he's been through something similar. So now Jay is curious, वो कौन थी? बोल दो. And then when he opens his wallet, he's like, अच्छा मुंह बंद करने के लिए पैसे दे रहे हो क्या? I'm like, do you ever get serious? Because everything is just so frivolous and just so fun.
How people can be so underthinkers sometimes. How they can just see things for just as they are. Like somebody opening the wallet and they saying कि पैसे दे रहे हो क्या? And not thinking कि oh, a photo in the wallet is also a thing. Yeah. Despite being such a frivolous character, I have great liking for Jay's character. Because it feels so fresh to me. Like, you know, you've been living with yourself for so long. And when you come across somebody who just takes away all of your pains and like, so it's just so refreshing to see. Which is why, you know, imagine Jay doing all of these hideous things and not once in the film you feel furious at him.
Yeah, like, arey, cute.
Exactly. You laugh at him, you don't feel furious at him.
He takes out that photograph and he shows it to Jay and he says, oh, Eastman Color by Kodak, where you could just process the film and put in colors so that, you know, you could see the picture or the film or whatever. The cafe's name is The Chalk in Eastman Color. That is the name of Veer's Cafe. You have to really look out. Like, it was bothering me, what's the name of the cafe? And I know exactly where it comes. And if you miss it at that point in time, पूरे picture में तुमको पता नहीं चलेगा कहाँ है.
When does it come?
It comes at the end of Ye Duriya, where they're just showing where his cafe is located. And I think one of the places when Deepika arrives, just before the breakup, I think thoda sa it is visible on the side, but that is also not entirely visible. So when he says here Eastman Color, I was like, oh, that's why they've put it there also, and then he's used it as a dialogue also. So nice way to just, you know, link the two things.
Right. That's so interesting.
Yeah, thank you. I do such things. That's why I do this podcast. Like we discussed ki we never know how Kal wala love between Veer and Harleen happened because he's just chasing her through the college and the college ka name is Lady Girja Devi College of Arts, which I had no idea that it existed for real. Like similar name, not exactly the same. Do you know what year the old love story is set in? It's 1957 because you see a Mother India ka poster in the background.
Are you sure? Do they say it?
No, because Mother India was released in 1957 and that poster is there in the background. So if I have to gauge what is the year, it's 1957 because that's when Mother India released and it's Delhi. So it must have released exactly around that year and not later because if the filmmaker is using that tool to tell us.
So like they're spanning across a time period of 50 years.
Yeah.
And yet drawing parallels between the two love stories. Interesting.
And also the mithai ka dukan that they show.
Not too sweet.
Nathu Halwai actually. But I don't know, the spelling mein there's some problem because they have written Nathu Halwai and when later Jay mentions it, he says Nathu Mithai Wala. So I'm like, it's okay, you can say Halwai or Mithai Wala, but the Hindi spelling, either the art department, I don't know what they did. Some issue has happened there.
Or maybe they just changed it over time period.
That could also be the case.
Because the Nathu sweets exist today. I feel that was one thing that I even saw Imtiaz speak about, that it used to exist for a very long time, which then became, that common factor, putting those two things out in perspective of how, with the time periods Nathu sweets has grown. Even till date, like a Nathu sweet exists.
No, that I thought that, okay, it's the same thing. So Halwai could have become Mithai Wala. But just the spelling of Nathu, like I would write it in a certain way if it's Nathu. If it is Nathu, then it is different. So I was just like in two minds ki which one is correct because it really bothers me for some reason. Also, there's another thing that is common between that time and this time. And I think that's only because that is what was available and they just used it in both the eras is Jia Band, Jea Band. You can see that in 1957 also and you can see that when they are doing the Chor Bazari song also. The same band. I'm sure it must have been there or whatever similar kind of a thing. But that is one connecting factor between the two things.
I think there are a lot of points in the film. You see that there are a lot of connecting points and that might just be the reason why they are comparing. It's not too different. Maybe the way of chasing somebody is different. But you see, there are a lot of times in the film that you see very typically point to the fact that love remains the same throughout. We are talking 1950s or 2000s. Love is one factor that remains the same.
I also feel that there's a line in DDLJ where Shah Rukh is very dejected. He's like, uski shaadi hone wali hai, ab bahut der ho chuki hai. And then Anupam Kher's character says, मोहब्बत का नाम आज भी मोहब्बत है बेटा. True, it doesn't matter what era it is. Love is love at the end of the day. It doesn't matter.
Precisely, maybe that's the reason Veer Singh understands also Jai so well, despite Jai being an utter opposite of him in today's world. But Veer Singh just gets it. Like, maybe through the conversations he has overheard. He knows that Jai is not less in love or likes the person, but just maybe not aware or just confused as he was when he was chasing Harleen. That is chase that's speaking and not again liking. Because see, in this case, Jai knows Meera in and out. When Veer Singh starts to chase Harleen, he barely knows Harleen.
And she also doesn't know him. Like, how does he expect her to fall in love with him?
At that point in time, chase used to be the thing used to make a person fall in love with you.
It's very weird. I do not get it at all. But okay, for the purposes of the story, I will. Do you know the girl who plays Harleen's friend who sits next to her in the rickshaw in the initial scenes?
I think she plays the sister of Ranbir Kapoor.
Yes.
Tu Jhoothi Main Makkar, yes.
And I saw her and I was like, I've seen her somewhere. Where have I seen her? It was in my mind since the time the re-release had happened and I had seen it. And we couldn't watch it together because my schedule was all over the place. Yours was all over the place. And by the time I watched it, it was already, I think, second or third week. And I'm like, isko kahin to dekha hai? Kahan dekha hai? And I've not even seen the movie Tu Jhoothi Main Makkar. That's my problem. I've only seen it in bits and parts because I had to reference shots. That's why it's not a full film in my mind. So I don't know who everybody is.
I watched it very recently. And that's when I was like, okay, I've seen this woman very recently somewhere. And Tu Jhoothi Main Makkar. Also because she does a great job in Tu Jhoothi Main Makkar also. So you see her face throughout the film and then once you watch Love Aajkal and you're like, okay.
Yeah, it registers well. She has a good screen presence. Did you know that Harleen's voice has been dubbed It's been dubbed by Mona Shetty. It's the same person who dubbed for Deepika in Om Shanti Om.
I was not aware that even Deepika's voice was dubbed in Om Shanti Om.
Yes. I think there's only one line in Om Shanti Om that's Deepika's voice, which you'll get to know when I do a podcast about it because you'll have to hear it. Like, I think he follows her like 3, 4, 5 times and then they meet at Nathu Halwai and then she just like tries to talk to this little kid trying to send across a message that for you it must be
A game.
yeah, but for me it's not. Please don't follow me. What I love is he's like ये दिल कोई साइकिल तो नहीं, ये तो जाएगा उसके पीछे.
दिल को थोड़ा दूसरे तरीके से जाना चाहिए than just chasing on his cycle.
Exactly. He's like मैं उसकी बेइज्जती नहीं होने देनी है. And then he takes this प्रतिज्ञा that you know in every
Life, हरलीन ही मेरी वोटी बनेगी. नाम होगा आने वाले जन्मों में. Back then it used to be so simple falling in love. Like he just saw her. He saw her speaking once to the child. He saw her aura, her presence, her walking. And that was it.
But also, he noticed that she likes bundi. She noticed that he likes tea without sugar and milk. Otherwise, how will these two people know? It's only this scene that they get to know about this.
Exactly, and that information is enough. And he's absolutely okay chasing, even if it's an idea in his head at this point in time and not love, he's okay chasing the idea till it becomes love. Which again, older version of Veer Singh answers that हमारे पास उस time पे options नहीं थे. Which made it so much better क्योंकि जो है यही है. तो अब फिक्स करना है खुद को तो कर लेते हैं. सामने वाले से बात करनी है तो कर लेते हैं. घर वालों से लड़ना है तो लड़ लेते हैं. Let's not pivot out of it. It is just a very big theme for relationships these days. Plethora of choices that people have. It's a different problem altogether. Like having choices is a big problem because you will never ever find somebody good enough.
But isn't it like if you feel drawn towards somebody and despite the distance and the years, if you keep coming back to each other, like it happens in this film, does it not like ring a bell in people's heads that, okay, this is where I need to be, this is where I belong? Or people are like too scared to like even acknowledge that option?
Yes, I think it's the latter. People are scared to acknowledge also because the minute you will disappear out of a situation, how Jay disappeared after Meera moved to India, it didn't take a lot of time for Meera to have somebody else in her life. The feelings did fade away. Similarly, when Jay realizes that, okay, there is somebody in Meera's life, it doesn't take him a lot of time and thinking. Unfortunately, Veer Singh didn't have time to figure out more options, which is why he figured out a different solution to it. That, okay, she does not like me chasing on a bicycle. So I will now do it subtly. I will now maybe tone down my love. Maybe I will go through another route altogether for her. For Jay and Meera both, when they figured out that, we cannot be with each other, their instant automatic response was jumping onto the next person because the next person was very readily available.
Yeah, it was like a rebound. It was not even...
Exactly. And a rebound in today's world exists. You can have like 10 rebounds. But at the end of the day, they will be rebounds.
Correct.
But the difficult part is drawing the line between a rebound and actually understanding if it's the next person that I love or it's just because I am too busy being distracted from the previous one.
But here also, like they've separated, but they're constantly talking to each other.
Exactly, which psychologically just messes you up. First of all, you don't know what you share with the previous person. Yeah. It was never a serious thing, but it wasn't too casual either. Now you're seeing this new person, you're talking about different people. And it's just a very bad mix of emotions, which honestly leads to trouble in the paradise simply because you will never fully understand yourself and perhaps the weight of you not understanding yourself will always fall upon the next person.
And what I hate is they are saying that, oh, Emma, out of your life, out of your mind. But you're always constantly trying to seek each other's validation that, oh, you have to guide me if I'm doing this. Oh, clearly both of them have issues with that. They don't want to do that, but they don't want to say no also because they want to show that I've moved on.
That's the only thread, Abby, that keeps them together now. This pseudo friendship that they have developed is the only thread of them being in each other's lives. They cannot physically be present. They cannot go out for coffee. They cannot do double dates at this point in time. Hence, just talking, seeking validation is just something when everything is taken away from you, you hold on to that last piece of string only to keep the relationship breathing and keep it above the water. Again, it's very subconscious that they don't realize it's harming them. They feel like they've been doing it out of goodwill, out of friendship for each other.
But you see how he reacts when she says that, oh, he's asked me out. He's like, हाँ पूरा दिन साथ रहती हो तो डिनर कर लिया तो क्या बड़ी बात हो गई.
So when the conversation begins, Jay being Jay, the underthinker guy, how Jay would take Collie on a date or like on a dinner, but feels nothing for her, right? Similarly, when Meera shares about Vikram, Jay has not thought of it from a date point of view. Jay is thinking of a boss/friend. हाँ ठीक है, पूरा दिन उसके साथ काम करती हो, डिनर कर लो. Then Meera points out that बात डिनर की नहीं है. मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि वो मुझे पसंद करता है.
And then he's like, तुम भी उसे पसंद करते हो.
So that's when Jay realizes, oh, okay, it's not a boss, it's not a friend. If Meera goes out with this boy, it'll be a date. Is when bell rings in his head.
Do you think it's also the thing when she says कि because वो boss है तो mess हो जाएगा, and then he says इस mess से निकल गई उस mess से भी निकल जाओगी, because he doesn't care if it gets messed up because he's okay with that.
And the relationship, but is giving so much thought to this newcomer guy.
And she blatantly says also, सोचना चाहिए था. I don't want to repeat the same mistakes I did with you. Say it so hard.
She would say it out on your face when she has the words articulated with her. And Jay, being the underthinker again, he's not taking it anything to his heart at this point in time.
But धीरे धीरे तो it's like hitting him na at the right places.
Only thing it took to his heart was that, okay, I am sitting here on a couch and she's going out on a date. When he realizes it's a date. Otherwise, Jay being Jay, he was okay, her chilling with the boy, with boss. It's all chill, cool, because Jay himself is like that. And you know, when you are a certain personality, more often than not, you look at people from the same lens. Like you feel like what I am, samne wala is also going to be the same person. It's very rare that point of interception happens where you're like, okay, maybe not. Maybe, you know, I might have taken Collie out on a dinner and not have feelings for her, but this boy taking out Meera has feelings for her. So he's disturbed about that.
Throughout the time Veer is talking about Harleen and his love story, in my mind, I don't know, I feel that, oh, Harleen is dead. Did you ever get that feeling?
No.
I always had this feeling that bichara, ab he has nobody. That is why he's taking interest in this guy's relationship. And Harleen is now dead, though he got to be with her or whatever. But now she's not there anymore in his life. That is the feeling I got every time I see him talk about Harleen or how difficult it was just to get together with her. तो वो ऐसा मेरे दिमाग में हमेशा used to keep coming कि is she dead? Is she dead? Is she not alive anymore?
For me, I always felt that this was an incomplete love story. That amount of passion usually is there in incomplete love stories. So I always felt that Harleen might have got married off someplace else or they must have been separated. But no, I didn't feel she was dead because all the time Veer Singh would talk about her, it would be with so much love and admiration that when a person does not exist, a little bit of sadness would have surrounded it. But he was never sad about it. He was always giggling about it.
But the love that you share for that one person, like even if they're not around, if you love them, it'll feel like in their brain, so they're alive only, na? Like in the memories and everything. You always look at those moments as, oh, it was such a nice time. It was such a thing of joy for me. To reminisce those moments because that's the only thing of joy left in your life.
Right. No, I really felt that, okay, they must not have been together now, but he's just happy that she exists or she existed in his life or she exists in the world.
Exactly. Like I said, in the mind bubble, she's always there.
Because of his always giggliness, I could always feel that he's just happy with her wherever she is. At my home or not at my home, he's a happy personality.
I also felt that they never had kids.
Yes.
Henna, that's why he's so interested in this person's life and he wants him to do well and he wants him to get the love of his life.
Yes, because usually you see your reflection in your kids, naturally. And the fact that he did not see a reflection of himself in anybody but a random stranger who comes to his coffee house.
Happens to look like him. Air quotes.
Happens to look like him. He has a lot of fatherly love to give, which is what he gives to him and Meera. Just Meera is always in the subtext for him, but you know, somewhere I always feel Veer Singh has a special corner for Meera. See that, okay, she's a nice girl and I want them to be together, to be happy. And also I feel like couples who do not have children, I see a lot of love between them because having spent so much of your time together, because with children there are distractions. When you have spent all of your life just with each other, there is nothing but love to grow. Either it will end up in like endless love or a divorce. And the fact that it didn't end up in a divorce clearly means that, you know, these people are still in their honeymoon phase, love each other. Or they didn't feel the need to have somebody to share that love with. It's enough for the both of them. It's a good enough family for them.
So here when Jay is sharing कि of course she's gonna go out with somebody, उसको डर तो हो रहा है भाई. He's like पाजी of course वो जाएगी, किसी का हाथ पकड़ेगी. So he's like are you okay? So he's like पता नहीं पाजी मैं थोड़ा सा हिल गया हूँ.
See, I love how Jay is always on the surface. Even when he's हिला हुआ, unlike Meera, he's not hiding it. कि हाँ मैं हिल गया हूँ, ठीक है?
Like वीर पाजी सब इंटेलिजेंट सवाल वही पूछते हैं. Because ऑडियंस के भी दिमाग में सारे वही सवाल हैं जो वीर पाजी पूछते हैं कि oh are you okay? You know, what are you gonna do about it? So he's like, Arey, it's my free time. I should max it. I should just go out and chill. And what am I doing with my life? I'm like, again, you're just spiraling into the same patterns.
But you see, खुला time उसका तब से start हो गया था the minute he left the airport. But he didn't do anything about it. The reason was कि इसको भी थोड़ा provocation चाहिए by Meera to go out. Like now he has a reason.
अब तो jealousy में कर रहे हैं ना.
हाँ exactly ना. अब तो क्योंकि वो जा रही है तो मैं क्या करूँ? So let me also date, let me also go dancing. When people live with each other for so long, the mirroring that happens, one's actions would provoke the other. It's a very classic case of them spending so much time together and not realizing how it's shaped up their individual personalities at this point.
When Jay asks Veer Paji, what did you do?
जब वो जा रही थी.
He's like, अरे मैं तो बहुत दिनों तक दुखी रहा. I'm like, so nice and refreshing to hear a man say that I was upset. I was mighty upset. She was not around. It was killing me on the inside. So nice to hear it. Because half the time तो men don't admit कि भाई problem चल रही है life में. I'm unhappy and I have an issue. So then he reveals how he and his friends, they contributed so that he could go and visit her.
Go and see her.
So beautiful. Like, imagine उससे सब पता लगा लिया कहाँ है and what all it's gonna cost and how is he gonna go about it.
And also, at this point in time, we see that Veer Singh and Harleen have not shared anything very significant with each other. They've not even had one proper moment. And the mere fact that Veer Singh plus his friends are so serious about this relationship that very nicely they have been figuring things out, sorting a financial instability, taking a ghad-ghad karti hui train to see her. It just says so much about the value and the quality of love that you share, which very rarely, I think at that point in time in the 50s would have depended upon spending time together or having the wonderful dates. That's the idea which we have today.
That is why Jay says ना अभी तक कुछ हुआ भी नहीं था और आपने प्रतिज्ञा ले ली.
That's not needed. That's what the underlining statement is. It's not needed. What was needed is just a very good, very healthy admiration towards each other. And I would like kill for you and die for you.
So I love it that when he arrives outside her house, there's already a bench for him to sit. सुबह होती है and पहले तो I think the younger brother or whatever जिसको वो सुना रही होती है हलवाई के पास कि मेरा पीछा मत करो and all of that. And the moment she steps out into the balcony, that's when the song begins, Aaj Din Chadheya. It's so cute. Like, I have to give points to the editor for like doing this. She's done such amazing stuff, stitching scenes together. Two people are separate, but they're still together kind of a thing. Not exactly the same space, but they're still in the same space because they belong together. These small little cuts that she's made.
And again, very subtle, something that, you know, you would only think of it when you rewatch it or when you look at it in unison. Otherwise, standalone, these are like normal songs. That's how a song is supposed to be. But when you see it in a movie, you know, him going in the train, taking a 15-hour long journey, and then suddenly, din tab chada hai when she has come out of the window.
They have brought gifts with each other. He's bought the bundi and she's got the chai because that's the only information that was exchanged in their first interaction, which I find very beautiful because both of them are observant about each other's likes. So Jay is very surprised. He's like Bharat Ratna, Padma Bhushan. कोई तो award मिला होगा आपको. आप चीज क्या हो? Because he doesn't know that this kind of a thing exists. It's out of his realm of possibility. And I am like, are you serious? Of course, उसकी एक झलक के लिए he'll travel miles.
But see, I understand Jay. That's my point. I fully understand Jay because if I were Jay, I would have asked the same question. I'm like 15 घंटे की ट्रेन लेके शक्ल देखने तो नहीं जा रही मैं. Yeah, even I would not expect somebody to take a train and just watch me. If you can't do things, then don't come. You know, from both the points of view. When you're in love, you're a different person altogether.
Yeah, it kind of changes you in a way.
But I still feel like effort is something, and it might just be controversial, but effort is something that has disappeared over the period of time.
No, it definitely has disappeared, I believe.
From all of our lives, it's just become a little too easy now that there is no need to take that train. Hence, nobody takes any train. even if it's a comfortable journey, nobody is willing to take on that journey.
Effort is so sexy.
Effort is sexy, effort is very attractive. At least as a woman, effort is something that would make my viewpoint change towards you.
Yeah, I'll at least take note.
Exactly. I will be very observant and I will take note of it and I will try to reciprocate it. Unfortunately, it's such an ancient history. I don't remember the last time somebody did that kind of an effort for me or for somebody that I know of also. Like I have people around me who are in relationships and I don't see, Abby, this kind of love that we're talking about. Unfortunately, it does not exist in real life.
God, it's so hurtful to even hear that.
It's sad. I'm sure there are video calls, but somehow the video calls are not enough to see somebody's face. And which is why it's just this one part in the film where I'm on the 1950s side more than the 2000s is when Veer Singh says, पता नहीं था मुझे कि मैं हरलीन को जाने दूं या छोड़ दूं. Option नहीं था. That's something that I would want back from that era. Maybe that's just that one thing. Looking at somebody and realizing कि अरे मेरे पास है ही नहीं और option. So let me just chase it to the best of my capacity till I have it.
Because the first time when he's running and he's going at the station, it's the Delhi Chhavni station, it's the Delhi Chhavni to Havda train that's going. The train is called Rajhans. It's such a moment where he would have almost missed her if he didn't turn at that point in time. It gives me so much thrill that, oh my God, are they going to meet? Is he going to see her? Is she going to switch seats right in time so that he gets to... And she's doing that only because somewhere she likes him.
And also because she sees him make effort. I really have a very strong belief that women fall in love through efforts. As for me, I have never seen somebody and immediately fallen for them. I have always fallen for people over a period of time because of the things that they do for me. That's very deeply ingrained in you that when somebody does that kind of a thing for you, when they get out of their comfort zone to make you feel special, then that person is deserving of your love. Harleen never ever noticed this boy before he started chasing her. Mia, for that matter, was never the sort of person that she would head over heels fall in love with this bratty boy.
Yeah, and mumbling idiot. Like that is the word that comes to my mind.
But she does. She has a tear in her eye when they're leaving from the breakup party and she hugs. Yeah, she's overwhelmed. I don't think she expected that. It only came because Jay was just there. Hence, when it comes to even Harleen and Veer Singh, I really feel like that's the only kind of generation that knew effort, that knew how to do love, which is why I feel it sustained over a period of those 50 years.
But also he says this one thing which, despite me being very love kal, I do not agree with, where he says कि अगर पहला step ही ये हो तो बाद में कुछ बचता ही नहीं है, दिल में दर्द कहाँ से आएगा? As like if the love is real, दिल में दर्द तो आ ही जाएगा.
वो आ गया ना जय के दिल में. Even after being with Meera. Exactly. That's a generational gap that you don't even think of kissing somebody till you've been with them, married them, engaged to them. Okay. See, that's what I'm saying. Dard is common. जय के दिमाग में या जय के दिल में दर्द आता है, बस किसी और तरीके से आता है.
बट जय के पास दिल भी तो नहीं है ना.
Because for Jay, sex is so easily available. With Meera, it was so comfortable. Hence, जय के दिल में दर्द आया जब कोई दूसरा इंसान आया. Because वो easily available नहीं है जय के पास. Jay does not have a replacement for that emotional availability of any other person or the emotional honesty that Meera had with her.
Or the security that they both felt being with each other.
Exactly. More often than not, the dard comes from the other factors. Back then, Veer Singh was pretty sure that even if Harleen goes to Calcutta, she's not gonna be roaming out with another guy. He was quite secure. Today, it does not happen like that. Things which are readily available would rarely make you insecure. Things which are not available would make you insecure. Which for Jay was somebody who's as understanding as Meera. So which is why he knows कि okay, this part of Meera, somebody else might just be having that, is when उसके दिल में दर्द उठता है.
And the whole thing of like him wanting to move on, it irritates me because obviously I don't want him to move on as an audience member. But abruptly the scene gets over and he goes in the car and song comes up, Sunshine Radio में, twist वाला गाना. Obviously the twist का song tune has come from 1954 film Nagin. मन डोले मेरा तन डोले मेरे दिल का गया करार रे ये कौन बजाए बांसुरिया.
Oh, the iconic twist. Oh my God, that's new information.
They put it in the credits later, but it's okay. Not many people will know because सब मेरी तरह नहीं होते ना. Now he needs to meet this new person. And she's Swiss. There's a line of dialogue that specifies, oh, she's Swiss, she doesn't know Hindi.
I think if you even look at the scene that happens during Twist, he looks at the girl, she looks back. It's the first girl out there he has had a common reciprocation with, and Jay goes for it. Like his underlining is ki I need to find somebody, I need to meet somebody. Because Meera is seeing somebody else.
When he drops her off, he comes back and he's like, music was too loud.
I didn't hear your name. No, he remembers Veer Singh का dialogue before the scene when Veer Singh says कि आज के ज़माने में क्या ऐसे कुछ भी हो जाता है. ऐसे बहन जी आपका नाम क्या था?
He's like, why बहन जी? I didn't get that. Oh my God, thank you.
Yeah. It's ऐसे ही हो जाता है, which happened no in this scene कि हो गया, मिल गए, घर भी हो गया उसके, and then he goes back to ask कि hey, what's your name?
But मुझे लगा कि he goes back to ask the name so he could get some.
No. He goes back to ask the name because he's reminded of Veer Singh asking कि आज की generation में होता है, and he's just
completely missed that.
And then also why he goes to ask the name is because he needs to text Meera immediately. So he needs to have a name. Otherwise Meera would ask, who's it? Who's she? He would not have a name to tell Meera.
The motivation is completely different.
Yes, the motivation is different. And you know the smirk he has when he come to the car. Because he realizes that, oops, Veer Singh was right.
Oh, this I didn't get only. See, that's why I needed a Gen Z perspective. I told you I need a new perspective because there was a lot of things when I watched it for the first time. I was like, kuch to problem hai. Why is it not sitting well with me? Because obviously now I look back at it with much kinder eyes because I have so much more awareness in terms of like just relationships and mental health and everything. But at that point in time, I was very upset. I was like, what the fuck is happening? I was only kind to Veer Singh's love story. And this was like driving me insane because my whole thing was like, क्या गधा इंसान है ये? Like with the प्यार कर, what is in your head? Why can't you just open your eyes?
That's the agony of the situation. Even he can't find. उसके दिमाग में अभी भी वीर सिंह was a conscious thought जिसपे वो हंसता है. मीरा को बताना है ये subconscious है उसके दिमाग में.
I'm like, ये सब के बाद भी तुम्हें पहले मीरा को बताना है.
How can I not have somebody when Meera is out there going on dates?
Also, when Jay says that, you know, he's moved on when he's texting Meera, I'm like, no, you have not moved on. What rubbish are you talking about?
See, that you can only say because you have been looking it from a third point of view. For him, if he has gone out on a date, because you remember before this, an incident happens when they are texting and Meera asks कि मैं system से out हो गई हूँ क्या Jay? And he says कि नहीं, एक लड़की थी, पत्ता भी दे रही थी, just I could not make the move. ठीक है? That's when. So see, for this generation that we're talking about now in the Aaj point of view, moving on precisely is connected to seeing somebody else. It should not be, but it is unfortunately, you know, associated with, okay, now I'm seeing somebody else, then definitely I've moved on from the previous one. Rebounds only happen subconsciously. You do not know if somebody is your rebound.
Yeah, you don't consciously be like, oh, this is gonna be my rebound.
Exactly. You do not break up and next day be like, oh, I need a rebound. No, you feel like, no, I need a relationship. And then you can just years later figure, okay, that was not a relationship. That was a rebound from the previous one. Hence, for Jay, I think it's that moment of victory. Now that I've dated somebody else, Meera is out of my system.
But even when he messages her, she is like looking at herself in the mirror and she's trying to get that smile which he says कि तुम्हारी smile बहुत अच्छी है. But she is not able to. She is trying so hard and she's like just...
See, you realize Meera had said no for that dinner. And then after Jay texts, she asks him out for dinner.
Yeah, she's like, तभी तो मैंने पूछा.
Which is again Jay's provocation. It's just a series of one incident after the other where they're both just trying to anchor each other's actions and putting the other person in a really toxic spot.
They're triggering each other, no?
They're triggering each other because they're not healed themselves. Like both of them have not moved on. Both of them clearly don't even know what the relationship meant to them while they were in it. I feel like they both, when apart from each other, are not good for each other or the people around them. They're only good when they are either together or they are absolutely separated.
But then somebody else's involvement will always be that comparison that, oh, with this person it was this way, but with this person it's...
And it would have always been a triggered response. Jay did not pick Joe because he liked Joe. He picked Joe because वो पत्ता दे रही थी. और इस time पे he had a motive to show it to Meera, which is why he accepted it graciously. Meera had an option left. Like, for example, imagine why would Meera say no to Vikram 2 times for dinner, knowing that, okay, the dinner is not just dinner. And immediately after receiving a text from Jay, she would go out on a dinner. Practice a smile also that she knows it's gonna short way to work him out.
He's like, तुम्हारी smile बहुत अच्छी है. She's like, मुझे पता है.
It's because she knew that my ex-boyfriend has told me the smile is gonna work. So let me now just smile and make this work.
I'm like, take a compliment, na girl. Like, I can't take a compliment. If somebody will give me a compliment, I'll be like, I'll either try to like invalidate it or be like, I am not worthy of the compliment. Like, just taking the compliment and accepting it is just like, I don't know, it's too much.
It feels bad when somebody else does it, but we've all been there. We've all done that. See, again, for Meera, Jay's words meant a lot. So now when even Jay compliments her, when Jay says things about her, which will come to, in the marriage scene also, when they have the big conversation, it just means a lot for Meera.
I don't like it because I'm like, you're trying to, it's not cheating, but you're trying to manipulate something to work in your favor, right?
Exactly. Again, it's sad, but it's reality. The more real part of it is that while you're doing these things, you're not quite aware that I am hurting the other person.
So after this, the interval block comes where Harleen is trying the tea without sugar and she doesn't like it. And I'm like, you don't have to do this. I get it that you love him.
Exactly. I get it. Not that you have to, but it's like you want to. It's not that even he has said it. Here she wants to do it because she wants to have things common. Even if they do not exist right now, she's trying to make some things exist that are in common with the both of them.
It's nice to do things for your significant other, to just imbibe the same habit and just make it a part of yourself, which is very nice. But वो interval block में मुझे बहुत खटकता है. I'm like, यहाँ पे interval करने का क्या मतलब था?
The interval might have just come there because it's the first time we see any of Harleen's actions towards. Before that, we do not see Harleen doing anything for Veer Singh.
But she gets him the tea ना जब मिलने आता है, तो that is one nice gesture.
Exactly. So that's the only gesture, the tea bit, she does only when she realizes, okay, this man has traveled till here, which means he's serious about me. Let me just try something that he might like. Because till now, when they were in Delhi, it was all one-sided. Even till he took the train, it was one-sided. It's only when he got her bundi, she made tea for him, is when she realized that I need to give in to this. That we are at least now one. And now the problem would be outside of this paradise. Abhi tak to even they were not together. So this is the point when at least Harleen and Veer Singh are together. And on the contrary, we see that Jay and Meera have completely, fizzled out of each other's lives. At least that's what they think.
इन लोगों ने एक्सेप्ट नहीं किया है एक दूसरे का मूव ऑन करना, बट इसने एक्सेप्ट कर लिया है टू वांटिंग टू बी इन दिस पर्सन्स लाइफ. मे बी दैट इज द ओनली थिंग दैट आई कैन कनेक्ट.
The idea of them moving separately from each other. And here, finally, for the first time, Harleen and Veer have gotten together and we see that, okay, there is a reciprocation.
Correct.
It's not one-sided.
And that's when the
Interval comes.
Listen and subscribe to Awesome Pod Mix on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music and Good Pods. And you gotta follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Threads and Blue Sky. Everywhere it's at Awesome Pod Mix. If you like what I'm doing, you can support me on Patreon at patreon.com/awesomepodmix. Thank you for listening.